This is the video for exercise 3. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. First off, we're gonna download clips. And we're gonna extract the files. And we're gonna execute Eclipse. And it's just taking a few to load. Alright, so that looks like it got installed okay. So we'll take that down. Alright, next thing we're gonna do is download and install Tomcat 9. Let's open that up. And download the zip file. Okay. Alright, so we are going to just do it to here. And we see Apache Tomcat. Alright, so now we're going to go here and we're going to create link to new server. We're going to do Tomcat 9. Alright, so we got that going, the Tomcat 9 server. So now we need to go to the code for exercise 4. Alright, so we go to code and download zip. Alright, so we're going to show in folder. And database, we're going to extract here. Alright, so we have this database master. And per the instructions, we are just going to keep src and web content, so we'll delete that. So we should be good to go there. We're going to go back to Eclipse. Alright, so now we'll go to File, Import. And we'll go General. And we'll do Project from folder Archive. And then we'll hit Finish. Alright, so we have everything that's imported successfully. Now we're going to update the facets and the Java RTE. Go to Project. Excuse me, we're going to go to Database. Build path. configure build path. So we'll hit edit, go to execution environments. We want Java SE 1.8. We'll hit finish. We'll hit apply. Apply and close. And next we'll go into database, go into properties, go into facets. And we'll go to Java 1.8. We'll apply and close that. We need to go into our Java resources, our source file. And open that. Want to make sure use SSL false, user is John, password is John1234. So that looks good to go. Alright, so now we should be able to go to web content. Go to people list, do run on server, finish. All right, beautiful. So we connected perfectly. It still has my people from exercise 3, John, Mary, and Bill. And that got us here. So we can go into edit. Change that real quick. All right, that's saved. We can add a new person. We'll add myself. Save that. Oh, we'll make it lowercase so it matches everything. Alright, and then I am there. Alright, now that we got everything all put together and we were able to add new people, we're able to edit, we're able to see all this functionality. Now what we're going to do is explain the overall structure of things. We're going to do a quick demo explaining how each interaction works with each other. And I created this quick slide on Word, and it basically just shows the overall structure. Now, essentially, people list JSP here is the base for the application here. And if we go into people list, we can see that you have people management main menu for the header 1. Then we have the references new and list. So add new people, that shows new. and list here. If you go to list all people, that shows list, so you can get an idea of these references here. And then this shows what is displayed in a table. You got ID, name, status, and action, and you can see that that is the same here. It's 1 for 1. And then you have this C for each, which basically grabs an items and does iterations in target, like a Java for loop, and it grabs from the list people the ID, the name, the address, and the status. So that's why everything is being displayed there. And then there is also an edit and delete, and you can see here. So basically what happens is that this people management application will take an action, and that action will then reach out to the control servlet, and we can see that happening if we open this web XML. See this control servlet, and this becomes the hub for all of our commands. Now, that control servlet has the commands to list all people, to delete, to insert, and edit. So we'll just start very simple. We'll go to list all people, and when we go to list all people, it's sending that command to the servlet here. And you can see here that there are the different actions. You have new, insert, delete, edit, update, and list. And by calling list people, this throws the command to our people DAO, which people DAO, if you look here, is essentially all the SQL under the hood. So the list is selecting star from student, so select all from student. It executes the query and does a while loop to grab all of the IDs, names, addresses from the database, and returns that list people. So when we hit list people, grabs that from the people DAO, and then it dispatches to this people list.jsp. So it sends the people list over there, which then people list from list people prints out all of the people on here. If we were to do a delete also, going back to this control servlet, we can see that there is a delete command. And you can see here the delete people command at the bottom, which is called from this delete up top. And then it goes into people DAO to delete that particular ID. And people DAO, you can see, excuse me, there's the delete, and it just runs that SQL command, delete student, where ID equals whatever it happens to be. So if we were to delete John Liu, it'd be ID 2. And then it has the prepared statement where the argument for the question 1 is people ID, which is that ID right there. And then it deletes that row. And then this sends a redirect for the list function. And again, that list pulls up all the people that are in the database here. And that is, I'm sorry. And then it sends the redirect list. You can see here, list all people, and it pulls up the people in the database here. So those list all people and delete are relatively the easiest. And then what about add new people? So if we click add new people, you put in the information here and save it. But you know what's happening. So if we go to the control servlet, we do case new. We go down to new. Oh, and real quick before we get into that, in our code here we have do post, which calls do get, and do get are all the actions we're going to take in the database. And typically do post is in value form and do get is in URL, but in this case we have do post calling do get, and you can see here do get are all these actions. So again, with the new, so then it dispatches the request to insert people form.jsp. So if we go to insert people form.jsp, there is the new, add new people, and then this is going to be in the method post, which is that form. Then it's going to test that people is not equal to null, and we'll input the name, the address, the status, and then you can see here this value save is corresponding to this here. And then if we hit save, it will submit this action, which then calls this insert action, which goes back to our control servlet. You can see insert. So then we go down to insert, and it requests the dispatcher excuse me. We have the insert, which goes to the control servlet. Excuse me, I was pointing to the wrong one. This was the new form, which led over to the insert people form. But in this insert people form, it will call the action insert, which if we go back, then we can see it here, insert people. And it shows we're going to insert the name, address, and status into new people. So we're going to create a new people list, and this will go into people DAO, insert new people, which again is running the code. So insert into student, name, address, status with all the values that we put in. And then it executes the update and gives us the row. And then what this servlet is doing here is it'll send a redirect the list, which works at the client side. So, for example, if we add the name John Smith and then 634 Woodward, and we'll call him Fresh. So we hit save, and you can see the list automatically pulls up because of this command here, the send redirect the list, and that works on the client side on the application and pulls up the list. Okay. Same thing with the edit people form. So if we click edit, and we can update this and hit save, and then that will again send a corresponding command to the servlet where we have edit here, and then edit corresponds present an update to an existing student. There's the servlet, and then we are getting the ID to correspond with what's being edited, so we are editing the right role. And then we have to get the people, the existing people, from people DAO. So we have what's in the database, and this gets dispatched to edit people. And in edit people, you can see that the method again is post. The ID is hidden in the edit, and then we have the name, address, status. And then on this application you can see hit save. Okay. And then that submits to the update, which in the control servlet will which in the control servlet has the update people. And this update people here, we'll grab the ID, name, and address. And then we have a new people list. We send the update to people DAO, which again is running the code, and then that will update the information that we got from the edit people form, and I'll put that in the database and return that row. And then again, that servlet on update is going to redirect us to that list again. So if we do John, and let's call him John James. So when we hit that save, it again pulls up the list because that's what our servlet is asking the client to do, because again that's on the client side. So that runs it all, and you can see that the application has the actions. The actions reach out to the servlet, whether it be listing all people, delete, insert. Insert and edit will run with essentially the middleman between those two lists, the insert people form, the edit people form. Which will then have the code run in people DAO, which is the SQL code under the hood. And then that runs and updates the database accordingly and the list. And within this control servlet, we have the init command, which is creating a new instance of people DAO, so that as we're updating things, people DAO is updated, whether it's with a delete or add new user or any of that. Now we have a couple of other things here. The web XML, we already talked about that, which gives the command to reach out to the servlet. And then we have people.java here. Nope, no. We have, where'd that go? People.java. And people.java has the structure of people in memory, and it creates and stores objects corresponding to rows. And this is just the memory. So we can have like get name, set ID, get address, set address, get status. So when all this other code is running, this is the structure. And then we also have the list.jsp here. And this mainly focuses on the format of the table. Let's see, we have the alignment, columns, the border, and all that good stuff. So at this point we have gone through the exercise 4. It's actually a pretty cool system how this is built off of this people list. These actions reach out to the servlet, which controls everything, and it does a little bit of bouncing around, for lack of a better way to put it, where these commands correspond to commands down here, which will reach out to different forms like edit people or insert people, which will have those commands, and then it all eventually kind of filters through this people DAO, so that the SQL code is ran and returned, and DAO gets updated with whatever commands were ran, so that when we call the list, we can see the most up-to-date information in the database. And that concludes my presentation for exercise 4. Thanks for watching.